gets an epic dose of poetic justice in this week's episode of One Piece. This week's episode of One Piece is going to be remembered for one singular event. The moment where Momonosuke ordered Zunesha, the massive elephant, the giant living island of Zou, to attack Jack with his massive destructive elephant trunk. Which is honestly one of the coolest scenes I've actually seen from the entire series. The sheer size of the attack, the scale of it, the scope, the fact that it's so powerful that the very waves it creates actually sends Jack's ships flying into the sky only to be suddenly smacked and destroyed, crumbling into a million pieces. All of this done by this massive, pissed-off elephant with the most dead, lifeless eyes. Honestly, one of the most satisfying moments from the entire series. The reason that it's poetic justice, of course, is because Jack himself has a zone-type devil fruit that transforms him into a giant destructive mammoth. So it's only fitting that he gets destroyed by an even bigger mammoth, a giant freaking elephant. The end of the episode also has some very nice teasing when we go to Kaido's mysterious island, where apparently Eustace Kid has had the crap beaten out of him and he's been thrown into jail, and Scratchman Apu is telling Kaido that Jack has been defeated, and of course, Kaido is about to shit a freaking brick. Everything else in the episode pretty much plays out the way that you would expect. A lot of destruction on the island of Zou, buildings getting ready to crush people, giant trees getting ready to fall over, but thanks to the efforts of the Straw Hat Pirates and, of course, the very useful ninja and samurai, they are able to save the citizens, with Frankie saving Tristan, the super sexy squirrel nurse, and even Zoro cutting up a tree, followed by Raizo the ninja using his shuriken flower technique to throw shurikens into the ground to stop these giant rolling logs, which you have to imagine, giant shuriken going into the back of an elephant probably doesn't make it feel all that great, but then again, they're probably only mosquito bites to Zunesha, the giant elephant. But really, this episode is all about Momonosuke unlocking his abilities to actually communicate with this creature, Luffy trying his best as well. And when he finally does manage to start talking to it, the elephant mentions that it was some sort of prisoner in the past, and its punishment is to simply just keep walking. Do nothing else. Just walk forward, that's its mission in life. But in order to do anything else, it has to be ordered around. And Momonosuke is the one who eventually does give the order to let the elephant attack Jack, and it couldn't have come at a better time because, man, that elephant just absolutely wastes Jack and his crew. And the way they did the animation during that sequence was just pitch perfect. How you got to see the entire trunk just wind up, fly towards the screen, going right past it, followed by seeing the actual perspective of this massive trunk coming into Jack's face is just satisfying and awesome. Really, it's the reason to check out this week's episode. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of One Piece? Like I said, the reason to check out this week's episode is seeing that elephant scene. It was fantastic. The build-up to it, I think, was a little long-winded, but then again, this is the One Piece anime series. That's the things that it does. The thing that I'm most interested in, though, is the final scene, where you get to see that Eustace Kid has actually been locked up by Kaido. We did have that confrontation when Kaido fell out of the sky, and I'm imagining he took some of these pirates under his wing, and some of the other ones he essentially made his bitch, like Eustace, which is an absolute shame, because I think Kid is a really cool character, but it does make sense that he is locked up, because he's not the type of character who's just going to be ordered around by someone, especially if they're really powerful, so he'll probably take his beatings. It looks like Scratchman has no problem with going along with Kaido, but we're gonna have to wait to see what this new alliance is going to bring to the table. I also liked getting another visual of Kaido's island with the big mysterious, whatever the hell that thing is in the background, whether it be just a massive mountain with horns, maybe it's an actual living creature. I can't wait to get to his island, which is sure to be filled with all sorts of monstrous beasts, hence the beast pirates themselves. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I have to say about this episode. It was a visually stimulating episode during the whole elephant sequence, but most of the episode is basically just waiting around for that to happen, and a little bit of that teasing at the end. And it looks like we're this much closer to wrapping up the Zou arc before we move into the next arc of the series, which I assure you, you do not want to miss. This episode right here, though, despite the fact that it did have an incredibly epic moment, to me was just kind of an average episode of One Piece, but still a fundamental episode that you definitely need to watch if you're following the series. So I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5. A fun, super cool episode of One Piece that all One One Piece fans should definitely check out. So, that's my thoughts on this week's episode. Did you guys watch this one? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of that big Zunesha sequence when it was just taking out Jack's crew? Do you really think that's going to be the end of the indestructible Jack? He was a devil fruit user and he's now at the bottom of the ocean, or maybe we'll see him again. And what do you want to see from the next arc of the series? Please tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for all the latest One Piece manga and anime reviews, as well as reviews on a number of different anime shows. I would love to also talk with you guys, so please leave me a comment or two. I love interacting with you. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a like. Hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. So, I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay dandy, baby.